Hey, what's going on guys? It's Mason, and you know, Breath of the Wild has been out in the wild for a good bit now, and most people have beaten the game at this point, but just beware, this video does contain heavy spoilers for the game, so if you haven't played it and plan to, or if you don't like spoilers or whatever, this may not be something you want to watch. Because today, I want to be talking about my least favorite Divine Beast, my favorite one, and everything in between. So with that said, let's go ahead and just start with the fact that, oh my gosh, this game is absolutely incredible. There's such a wide array of characters, enemies, and personalities in general that I've just grown to really adore. Not all of them have the best intentions though, such as where the story of the game builds off of. The Legend of the Dark World. Ganon takes over all of Hyrule, and you know, the hero or the chosen one to seal the darkness away. It's up to you to also, along the way, if you choose to, fight your way through 4 massive creatures known as the Divine Beasts to help you with the final battle. Each of these are dungeons in themselves, and so, as mentioned, I want to talk about the worst and the best, ranging from the design of the creature, to the build of its interior, to the boss itself. So with that said, which one was the worst to me? Not all of them are bad, obviously. In fact, they were all rather incredible. Everybody has their own personal preferences though. Each of the dungeons were all unique in their own way, but the lesser of the bunch I'd say would have had to have been Divine Beast Marodo. While it was the first one I went to, I wasn't sure what to expect. I feel like there were others that would have been a lot more fun of a starter dungeon, if you will. Passing through Water Blight Ganon grants you Mipha's Grace, and once charged, taking a fatal hit will revive you instantly with a few extra hearts. That's a great touch, yeah, but the boss fight itself, I could have done without. It left me, while in great suspense, rather bored in comparison to the rest. I really like the aspect of changing the position of Ruda's trunk though, as it shifts water into the dungeon and causes wheels to turn that creates a neat little platforming experience. So there's that. I think for a first dungeon this was a good one, kinda to learn where I needed to go, what I needed to do, find the terminals, activate them, and move on. But that's all I saw it as, and for that reason it was just kind of a blah kind of time to me. But don't get me wrong, it's still so much fun, but it left me confused. But that's because I was dumb in the beginning. While that may have been on the lesser side of my top 4 Divine Beasts, keep in mind I love them all. But my third one has to be Divine Beast Palmetto, where Revali's Gale is given after the demolition of Windblight Ganon. I gotta say, while I prefer Ruda's dungeon layout much more than this one's, I like this one better in terms of the layout because it makes you think. Tilting the beast results in pieces and platforms sliding all over the place, but eventually after making your way through each terminal and activating them, that's when the real fun of this takes place. Windblight Ganon is a pretty fun boss. Not gonna lie. Basically, all I did was spam bomb arrows, but also taking advantage of the windpipes throughout the platform that throw you up into the sky if you're using your paraglider, and that way you can shoot easier. But then you start shooting other missiles and all that from above, and that's when you just gotta run. But overall, the boss itself made the dungeon for me, and it made it interesting. And now, whenever I go play through the game a second time, I'm gonna be knowing where to go, what to do to get to that boss again, because it's worth playing a second time for. Vanderwurst is not only my second favorite, but definitely the most intriguing beast of the 4 in my opinion. I mean, how awesome is it that you're actually inside a giant shape-shifting camel filled with electrical currents while you can actually see the majority of the area within a far glance, and can actually present a challenge to you, the player. That's pretty cool, don't lie. The thing I like so much about this dungeon is that it was a mix between everything, really. Something was so satisfying about watching the body of the beast move in whichever direction you wanted. This dungeon, in my opinion, has the most secrets out of the 4. No matter where you go, you may discover a secret elevator or somewhat secret room depending on how you have those body pieces lined up. And it's just so fascinating. And the boss fight is my favorite of the 4, no doubt. This thing is insanely fast, and you gotta dodge and flurry rush, and it's just a great time. There's nothing more satisfying than electrocution, let me tell you. I guess you could say it's shockingly fun. And last but not least, an honorable mention. Ganon. It was pretty epic. In all seriousness though, Fireblight Ganon possessed my favorite beast of them all, Varudania. There were so many intriguing things about this beast. Even the trip up there, just destroying each motion detector in the way to get Yunobo up without getting caught was a great experience. Upon arrival to the beast itself, it was pitch black. You grab the torch, you light the lanterns, and you give the place light. The shape-shifting feature of Rudania is that he can either stand on the side of the mountain or walk onto a flatter surface, altering the position of everything within. There's so many secrets between each dungeon, and while this one was the easiest in my eyes, I did have the most fun with it. I felt so dangerous walking around knowing there was a fire under within just feet of me. Isn't that just the coolest thing ever? So with that said, those are my least favorites, and those are my favorites of the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Divine Beast. Which one are your favorites? Let me know down below in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you next time.